Sometimes we get people, complaining, hey, there's a lot of red light runners in the city. How come you guys aren't there? And it's like, I think there's sometimes a perception that there's a cop on every single street corner in every single neighborhood. And unfortunately, as much as we would like to be, it's just not possible. Welcome back to the Garland Police Department Long Code Podcast. And today we are talking with a patrol officer, Officer Tom Divers, and he's going to kind of go over, the patrol, how the kind of calls they answer, and we hope to hear some really good stories on him, his career, and maybe some stuff he's been a part of. So tune in to find out what our Garland Police Department patrol unit is all about.
You are clear for long code.
So here we have one of our patrol officers, Officer Tom Divers, with us. And he's just going to kind of talk about patrol, and let's just see what he has to say. So welcome to the show, Tom.
Thank you.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about your background? Where do you come from? What the man I see in front of me right now today, what created you?
My parents.
That's a good answer.
So anyhow, I'm born in the Northeast, raised in Virginia, joined the Marine Corps at 18, got out, came back, became a cop.
Thank you for your service, sir.
You're welcome. Did one tour in Iraq in 2003, and then when I got back from that, I wanted to be a cop. Dad was an FBI agent, kind of in the blood. So I applied and became a cop in Northern Virginia, worked up there for 12 years, and Northern Virginia got really crowded, really expensive. So I went to my wife and I said, hey, it's either we got to get out of here. And so she said Florida, I said Texas. I won, so here we are.
Well, man, we're lucky to have you. Why did you choose Garland? Just curious.
It's interesting. Garland made national news back in 2015 with the Curtis Caldwell center shooting.
May 3rd.
Yeah, and I looked it up, and actually Garland had some really good reviews. It seemed like people talked highly of it, and I applied. And I was looking at Fort Worth, Plano, and Garland, and Garland sent me a personal email a day after I applied and said, we would love to have you down here. So they told me they were having a test in 2 weeks. So I said, all right, picked up and came down, took the test, and everything just kind of the stars all aligned.
Yeah.
And so Garland was the right place to come. So
that's incredible. Well, we're very lucky to have you.
Glad to be here.
I consider you a good friend. So we've worked a lot together. But tell me a little bit about some of the different roles that you've had as a police officer, not just here in Garland, but even your past in Virginia.
So obviously everything starts in patrol. So I worked in patrol. From patrol, I went to a neighborhood patrol unit. I worked, was a SRO briefly for about 2 years. I was voluntold into that position. Did MPO up in Virginia where it was a bike unit, so we could also ride bikes, kind of similar to our MPO here. I worked, I was a hostage negotiator in Virginia. I also helped form a new unit called the Tyson's Urban Team, where I was an investigator. We were given no direction on what we were supposed to do, and we formed a unit to fit the crime that we were finding in that area, which ended up being mostly financial crime. So somehow I became a financial investigator and worked a lot of credit card fraud, identity theft, had to link up with the Secret Service and the FBI, cultivated a lot of informants. It was a plainclothes position, so I got to wear plainclothes and wear shorts to work.
That sounds fun.
It was an awesome job.
How long did you do that?
About 3 years.
Okay.
And then I left there, and that's where I came to Texas from there. So when I got to Texas, obviously back in patrol, got on to SWAT in my first year. I was actually looking to be a hostage negotiator here, but the announcement came the same week my dad passed. So I missed the deadline to get the memo in, and then SWAT had an announcement a few weeks later. Decided maybe I'll do the tactical side of things. So got on to SWAT in 2016. And then a couple years after being here, I went to the MPO unit. I worked there for a few years, and I took a little bit of a break from police work from 2021 to 2024, and I came back last year. So everything comes back to Garland.
Man, so in total, if I'm counting, where are we at? About 16, 17 years?
Started in 2020. Started in 2004. So we're pushing 21 years, and I started.
Wow.
So
That's,
it's a lot of gray hairs.
well, that's a lot of seasoning and experience right there.
That's what the gray hairs are, seasoning.
So I forgot that you did financial crimes in Virginia. And what's interesting, just talking to other officers and stuff like that, obviously there's a little piece of you everywhere you go and things like that. And when you have the experience just molding together, I mean, that makes you a better patrol officer because
Yes.
you understand what the NPOs might be looking for. You understand what detectives and financial crimes might need when you take some kind of financial crime report.
I think when you work on the other side of reading the reports from patrol, you understand what the investigators and the detectives are looking for and the information that they're missing. And that, so yes, it does make you a better patrol officer to know what they're looking for and what they're not looking for, try to take the fluff out of the reports, essentially.
Yeah.
And, as I say, just the facts, ma'am. So just the facts.
Yeah. No doubt. So you have worked at our police department as a neighborhood police officer as well.
Yes.
And we get a lot of questions from time to time from, just various people in the community, whether it's an angry comment or whether it's just a curiosity thing. So, describe for me what the role of a patrol officer is.
So the patrol officer's main function is to respond to in-progress calls. So the domestics, the noise violations, the reckless drivers, the DWIs, the disorderly conduct, the thefts, anything that's happening, you're getting a patrol officer. So the patrol is kind of the backbone of the department where you are going to be the first one to every call, whether it's the accident on 635 or it's the CPR in progress. You are going to be there first, so you're kind of a jack of all trades. You have to be able to flip rolls and throttle your speed from, getting into a foot chase to, helping some lady or some man change a tire.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be well-rounded at everything from a missing kid to how to lock down a murder scene.
Yep. You got to know everything,
Manhunt.
the policies and the things that need to go into reports, and so you really are a jack of all trades, and it's a lot. It's a lot of information. So you're not in a specialty unit where you're focused on, financial crimes or auto theft or something like that. So
Right, and I think a lot of people, and when I say people, I mean like the general public, they get most of their information from TV, movies, books, whatever their source of entertainment is. And, when you watch a video on YouTube or you watch something on the news, typically what the final outcome is because that's why they're talking about it.
Right.
But when it's in real time, man, you have so many elements going on of, what's behind you, what's behind, the scene, what's going on with witnesses and things like that. I mean, you don't have a crystal ball. You don't know what's going to happen next. And so you have to be so on the fly. And, with an officer like yourself, and, I'm going to be bragging on you a little bit, but I mean, just the skills that you have for negotiating makes you a better speaker in the public. Because you're able to kind of calm people down who are in a heightened state. Your skills that you've learned on the SWAT team as a tactical operator, that gives you the ability to be safer. And I've seen you in action. You coach other officers in real time when there is a hairy situation going on where safety is paramount. And man, you're doing all, and then then you're going to a barking dog call or a loud music disturbance, and it's amazing the different realm of calls that you can answer in a particular shift.
Yeah, I think the most accurate TV show to show what cops do is Walker, Texas Ranger. I don't think there's any problem that can't be solved with a high kick. So,
Yeah, that's true. Well, and
I'm joking, of course.
Chuck Norris is just he's our hero heroes.
Yeah.
You know,
Clearly.
just incredible. Chuck, if you're watching, we'd love to have you here. There's actually pictures of you in a lot of officers' cubicles. But yeah, that man. But anyway, you know, patrol is, you know, sometimes I describe it as, man, they're the worker bees.
Yeah.
Going around the city, the hive, and just making sure everything's taken care of. And you know, it's amazing. You'll be just driving down the street and you see a blown tire in the middle of the roadway. You put your lights on, you pull over, you pull the tire out of the road, go down a little bit farther, and you know, maybe you witness a domestic. And so, you know, sometimes we get people, you know, complaining, hey, there's a lot of red light runners in the city. How come you guys aren't there? And it's like, I think there's sometimes a perception that there's a cop on every single street corner in every single neighborhood. And unfortunately, as much as we would like to be, it's just not possible. And so, you know, what are maybe some misconceptions you think maybe the public has, or what you think, like, you know, maybe the difference between a neighborhood police officer, that unit, and like patrol, like maybe some of the different types of calls that the citizen should, instead of calling 911 or non-emergency for the patrol to respond to get a hold of their neighborhood police officer.
And no, that's why we have specialty units that are designed for specific tasks. We have the neighborhood officers, we have the traffic officers, we have specialty units to go focus on these things. Unfortunately, even with everybody here, we can't be everywhere at every given time. And people do act differently when there's a marked police car on the street. They're not going to run that red light. They're not going to speed. So yes, we're not going to witness everything. But yeah, so you got your MPO units, and that is a great unit for the quality of life crimes and the individual problems, the neighborhood disputes, or the guy, the stop sign that keeps getting run by everybody. You know, there's a list on the website that shows every MPO. It has their email. It has their desk line, so you can call in and leave a message for them, because I guarantee they're not at their desks. But shoot them an email, because it's always connected to their phones, and they will respond really quick. But they are responsible for handling those specific neighborhood issues.
Right. I kind of call them the nuisance type calls.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm going to kind of elaborate with you. We have a lot of crimes that happen that are maybe some would consider a low level. So if you know, we're wanting to stop and prevent the murders and the burglaries and the robberies and things like that. We also don't want speeders and red light runners as well. But you know, those sometimes can be considered like more of a low level crime or something like that. And so we do typically have our specialized units, like the traffic unit and the neighborhood police officer unit, focus on those crimes. And now if there's some downtime in patrol, obviously, you know, you might sit at a chronic spot where you catch those violators. But for the most part, you know, those are kind of complaint-driven type calls. And if we don't know that this particular intersection has chronic violators, because we don't live there, we don't see it every day, you know, it's important for the citizen to call in and try to give us a window of time. Because I know when I worked as a neighborhood police officer, you know, hey, this stop sign at this intersection, everybody runs it every day. Well, I would sit out there for hours and not witness one violation. And so I'm like, well, clearly it's not every day, every minute of the day.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you're a citizen and you have this type of complaint, you know, try to give us a little more narrowed down of a time frame and a date to kind of help with that.
Yeah.
But, you know, so as a patrol officer, you go to some of the craziest calls, right? How do you unwind from that shift? How do you decompress from that?
Like when I go home?
Yeah.
I go home to my 4 daughters, and it's a different type of stress. So it's just changing one for the other. But yeah, no, I go home and I have my girls. So I'm at home with them. I have them, you know, 6 days out of the week they're with me, and the one night they're with their mother. So it's a busy schedule. So.
Well, what kind of hobbies are you a part of? What do you do?
I have 4 daughters. So if you can squeeze in the hobby in
So-
there, you let me know.
Your hobby is whatever their hobby
It's
is.
raising kids.
Yeah.
Cooking. That's actually something I'm into right now. So I will cook different meals and get in the kitchen and tinker around and make different stuff, find different recipes with the girls. And so usually the night that I'm home without them, I will make something they've never had before. If it, and then if I like it, I'll make it for them. But yeah, usually my day consists of waking up at 6 a.m., get my kids to the school bus, get my daughters off to school because I have one in elementary, middle, and high school, and get them all off to school, head to the gym, get home from the gym. I start prepping dinner, put it in the crock pot, so that way when the girls get home from school, since I work the evening shift, dinner's already there ready for them. They come home, I eat, check them on the Ring camera as they come home, ask them if they need anything, and then when I get home, they're usually already asleep. My 16-year-old is really stepped up, and she helps me out a lot. So she'll clean the house, make sure the girls are all ready for bed, and then they get to bed, and I come home, kind of check on them, start the laundry or do whatever I need to do, and
You're just
then I head to
dadding,
bed.
man. Super dad over there. Man, that's you're a sweetheart, man. You make sure they have their dinner, and that's really cool.
It's busy. It's a full schedule.
Yeah.
So
Well, now I see why you don't have time for Tom Diver hobbies.
yeah. No, there's no time for that. Who got time for that?
So what would you say as a police officer? What are some of your biggest pet peeves? Like, is there just something that just riles you up or drives you nuts when you see it?
Traffic, in the traffic world, it would be kids in car seats.
Oh, yeah.
Drives me absolutely nuts to see a kid bouncing around in the back seat, unsecured. Usually mom or dad's in the front on their phone. And a story I had was I'm driving around, I'm behind a car. I was watching it because it was swerving. I was coming into work. We're up on George Bush, and as we're driving, this car's bouncing lane to lane almost like a drunk driver. And then I just see this kid in the back seat bounding back and forth, just running along that back bench. And so I stopped him, pulled him over, and kind of gave them an earful that they need to put their kid in a car seat and get off their phone, because when I pulled up next to them, they didn't even see me in a marked police car because they're too busy doing what they're doing. So, yeah, that's my biggest pet peeve. Put your kid in car seats, especially if you're going to be a distracted driver, you're probably going to crash. It's not that kid's fault. He needs to be secured. So,
Well, in car seats, seat belts, I mean, they save lives.
no, 100%. I mean, if you've seen the wrecks that we've seen, and I know you've seen them.
No, they absolutely do. It's pretty remarkable. You go to a violent car crash and somebody was thrown through a windshield, all because they weren't wearing a restraint device and a seatbelt, or a car seat's not properly installed, and it's just.
It's one of my other pet peeves for officers. Wear your seatbelt in the car. I know sometimes it's a burden, and sometimes we forget about it, and we've all done it where you put your car seat on, you got to get out in a hurry and catch yourself. But wear your car seat, or wear your car seat. Maybe the smaller officers. No, wear your seatbelt in the car, because it's going to save your life. I've seen too many of my friends get in really bad accidents, and a lot of them have been saved by wearing that seatbelt. So I am pretty religious about wearing my seatbelt every single day. Once I get out of a neighborhood or the parking lot, it's clicked in. So,
Well, Tom, what is your favorite thing to do as a police officer? I mean, and I don't think you even mentioned this earlier. You're also in the Honor Guard unit, and you did that also in Virginia.
Yeah.
What out of all these roles that you've worked in or been a part of, what is your favorite one? What do you get excited about?
I enjoy SWAT. I enjoy the aspect of SWAT. It's a small unit environment. I like working with the guys. I like, obviously I like shooting, so it's fun to go to the range and work on your speed and your skill set and kind of pushing yourself to the next level. It also helps on the street. So if you get into those hairy situations, you've been there, like you've trained for these things, and I really do enjoy SWAT. So,
and you're also a field training officer. I don't think we mentioned that either. And man, you are a really good teacher. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen you. You don't just tell somebody what to do. You tell them how to do it, why it's important they do it a certain way. And man, we're lucky to have you.
I think leading from the front is very important. I think showing people by example of how to do things is the way to teach somebody. Because if I sit there and tell you every day to wear your seatbelt, but I'm not doing it, well, clearly so I'm a lead by example type of person. I just, I get paid to be here for 10 hours, so I'm going to give you 10 hours of worth of work. I'm going to work while I'm here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do the best I can, so that way people kind of see that and hopefully want to emulate the good behavior, because motivation breeds more motivation, and I think laziness breeds laziness. So I think it's good to not be lazy, because it's very easy to slip into that. So be the example, wear a clean uniform, be well put together when you're coming out there. Just be ready for work. Simple stuff.
So what would you tell either a young Tom Divers or maybe a senior in high school that's interested in serving their community? I mean, what would you tell them? What kind of steps would you tell that person or the younger version of you what to do to become a police officer?
Oh, if we're going to be a police. I was going to say go to the fire department.
Yeah, hey, man.
They get to sleep on.
I took the fire exam once upon a time.
I did too, and I failed.
Yeah, I wasn't smart enough. Hey, you know what, though? You know why God created police officers, don't you? So firefighters have heroes, too.
Yeah.
I love my fire guys, man. We got a great relationship with our
They're
fire
great.
department.
They're great. They're real special guys. No joking. No, I love the fire department. Garland Fire Department. They're the best. I have nothing bad to say about them.
Yeah. They're incredible.
I totally forgot what the question was.
Well,
what would I tell my younger self?
what would you tell somebody interested in this profession at a young age, like maybe a good path to take, or
Work on social skills. Learn to talk to people. Get off your phone. Talk to people. It's a lost art of being able to just have a conversation with people. Having a conversation with a complete stranger. I think that it really is just a lost art. People cannot communicate, and everybody wants to shorthand everything. LOL. Your generation, Trent.
Past me, I think.
Yeah. Oh, did you? You're on the other side.
I don't know how to. I know how to shorthand, but I don't know past that.
Yeah.
all the codes?
There's a completely different language now. You
Yeah,
would
man.
think.
Yeah, my
between
kids
your
keep me updated
generation,
on
my
that.
generation.
Riz.
Yeah, I don't know any of this
Bussin'.
stuff.
How's
Yeah.
it bussin'? There's like a lot of terms that I don't know.
Sometimes you just nod. I get it now. I think I'm just nodding my head and like, yeah, I'm sure those are words.
Is that when you know you've just reached a certain age, when you just don't understand what the kids or
Yeah.
the youth are doing?
So my daughters told me the other night, fire. This meal is fire. That's so not a term anymore. That's outdated. And
sounds like a compliment.
I just say it's good.
Yeah.
Hey, this is delicious. This is a really good meal.
What happened to just regular words?
This is just good food. This fire. So
Gotta like Google Translate conversations with my kid. It's unbelievable.
So y'all mentioned, if you have a problem in your neighborhood, you just let you guys know about it. Let patrol know about it. How would I let patrol know about a problem that I'm seeing in the neighborhood?
if it's actively occurring and it's not an emergency, call the non-emergency line. It's going to get prioritized. Once we finish our priority calls, we're going to go knock out those lower priority crimes. But Garland's really good about this. I'm not going to name names, but there's a large city that is near us that takes an extended period of time to get to their calls. Garland is actually very good about getting officers out there. And even those specialty units, if somebody's available, it's probably going to get picked up by somebody who's just close by. But call the non-emergency for those low crimes. And if it's something serious, 911. And then if it's something else, like there's neighborhood disputes, go to the website, find that MPO, email them, tell them what your complaint is, and I promise you'll probably get a response within 24 hours from that guy. So,
Yeah, for sure.
So, and if it's, yeah, I mean, even if it's an MPO, you can email him and he'll let the traffic officers know if it's a traffic issue or whatever needs to be done. So,
Yeah, and that's kind of the beautiful thing about our neighborhood police officer unit. I mean, that officer is able to focus on the issues at hand within that particular area. They know their neighborhoods very well, and if they need to get our intel unit involved, our narcotics unit involved, our gang unit involved, they're able to, use their resources to kind of pull things in, and they have more time to be able to dedicate that as well. I mean,
Yeah.
typically in patrol, man, you're going call to call to call. And it's not that you don't care about the call you're on. It's just unfortunate that you're not able to just slow down and really think about this. I mean, you're the first responding officer. You're the one taking the initial report. And then you give that report, and a detective picks it up and is able to deep dive into that. Or maybe the neighborhood police officer sees it, and they're like, this sounds like a similar incident I had 2 streets over. Well, the patrol officer might not know about that because it happened on a different shift, but that neighborhood police officer understands that neighborhood so well that, that sounds similar. Let me see if I can connect the dots. Then they get with the detective, and then boom, you got a suspect or something.
Man, patrol it really is. I mean, you got to love the one you're with. You got to stay with that call. Something bigger may come out, and you may have to leave. But you really got to take care of the calls that you're on. So you can't, obviously, I don't want to shortchange you if you're the one calling. So I'm going to take care of your issue. And then if I don't need a backup officer, I'm going to free that guy up to go handle something else. But if it's a priority issue or priority crime, we're going to send 2, maybe even 3 officers to that for safety. So that eats up a lot of resources really quick. You get a major accident on the highway, that's 3 officers right there and a fire truck. So
yeah, at least
it doesn't take take much to be a lot. So
well, man, I appreciate you coming on the show, and Tom Divers, everybody, round of applause here. Thank you, sir. Thanks for tuning in to the Garland Police Department's Long Code podcast, and that was a great conversation we had with one of our patrol officers, Tom Divers. And just really interesting on the different things that patrol does and really the kind of calls they answer and stuff like that. So please tune in, subscribe to Spotify, our Apple Podcasts, and watch our videos on YouTube.
You are clear for long code.